Good morning, happy Christmas. Today I'll be recording the Top Band Christmas AM Net, which is hosted by Martin G4FKK. It's an annual event which we do each year. It's got a bit tricky over the years as the noise floor's risen, but hopefully I'm optimistic that that might start to reduce in the UK, the discontinuation of the VDSL and so on. Anyway, I'm recording it for the members or the people that are taking part and posting it on YouTube so they can see how they were received. And it's a way of logging the actual net as well. Over the years, I do it each year. I don't always post it on YouTube, but I am this year. I have got some previous Top Band nets on if you want to scroll back my videos to see them. And this is another way for some of the local clubs to see how Top Band works. A lot of people don't operate down this low, so it might inspire them to use this band as well. Anyway, I'll stop now, and shortly at 10 o'clock the Top Band AM net will start.
Good morning to you, and very Merry Christmas. G8MNY. This is G4FKK. Trust you're all well. I've got the traditional AM net at 10 o'clock. I think we've shifted it down here this year because 1942 can get a bit busy Christmas morning. Anyway, trust you're doing okay, John. You're 5 and 9 here. G8MNY, G4FKK.
Yeah, 5 and 9 plus 20, but the noise is 5 and 9 plus 10. So that's it. Anyway, I'm running about 32 watts PEP. I haven't set it up at 8 watts because the carrier level keeps drifting. So I'll put it on a PEP mixer and set it up that way, etc. Anyway, that's it. So, yeah, we're monitoring the audio so it doesn't actually clip, because it will just go anti-phase and all that with this type of system. Yeah, I'm doing fairly well. I spent a lot of money yesterday on my tooth. I cracked a tooth about a month ago, and it's finally been crowned, so I'm happy now, but not happy with the bank, but there we go. They don't do NHS anymore, my local one, and you can park there and everything, it's very convenient, so there we go. But that's the only sort of scenario. Got about 24 Christmas cards in, so I'm doing pretty well. G8MNY.
Yep. G8MNY, G4FKK. Well, it's sounding good, John. And I think you might be slightly stronger than usual, which is good, because, well, let me just take my attenuator out and have a look at my noise level. Stand by.
Oh,
So I've got an S8 noise level here, which is shocking. But so hopefully I'll be able to. Well, hopefully some people will call in. I think Adam will, because I spoke to him a bit earlier. Spoke to Glenn FVL the other day, and he might make an appearance. And Andy's G8JAC. I heard him on here yesterday or the day before. Yeah, sorry to hear about your expenditure. I'm glad they fixed the tooth, but it is very expensive these days, isn't it? Yeah, I had a tooth that needed a crown, and the dentist put a temporary crown in first, and said we'll come back in 4 weeks or something. But I was travelling all over the country in those days, and his temporary filling was really good, so I sort of forgot all about it. Now, I went back eventually, and he said, I said, well, you can finish it off now. He said, too late, that's got to come out. So you did the right thing, John. Right, I'm going to put a call out, see if there's anyone else available this morning. I probably won't stay on too long, but I've got you at the top of the list, John, so let's just put a call out, see if anyone else is there. G4 Fox Kilo Kilo. Listening for anyone who would like to join the Christmas morning AM net on Top Band. G4FKK listening.
G7CRQ.
Golf 1 Hotel Romeo Delta.
Well, I've G7CRQ, G1HRD. Morning, Adam. Morning, Vince. Anyone else for the net? G4FKK listening? Yep, morning, Andy. G8JAC, G4FKK. Anyone else for the Christmas morning net? G4FKK listening? I didn't hear anyone. If anyone else did, pop up now and tell me who they heard. G4FKK. No, sounds like that's it. So that's very good. So top of the list is John, G8MNY, followed by Adam, G7CRQ, followed by Vince, G1HRD, and Andy, G8JAC. So the dipole on top of the hedge is working, Andy. You're not very strong, but just about readability 5. So I'll put it round to you, John, and if you can pass it round, if anyone loses the place on the list, just let me know, and I'll set it off straight again. Everything's okay here. We've got my son and his girlfriend staying with us today. It's just us four for lunch because my daughter's off at her fiance's. So a nice quiet one, probably. So round to you, John, and if you could pass it round to Adam, that'd be great. G8MNY, G4FKK, and the Christmas net.
Yes, okay. So background noise on 6KC width is 9 plus 10 here. Due to the recently put up dipole, a neighbour about 3 days ago decided to go over their tree cut, at least trimmed, and that's all the major branches of this tree, which is holding the end of my top man area up. You get the idea. So I managed to rescue the ropes and everything, and I carried on chopping it right, and then I catapulted it back up afterwards to what's left. And one of them, it's only tenants next door, one of them tenants said to me, "Oh, you got permission to put that up there?" And I said, "Well, it's sort of leaning on my property, and it always has been, etc. You know, I'm not that bothered, unless you are, etc., etc." Anyway, I gave him a box of chocolates and wrote about the fence, which is theirs and not mine, falling down. My fence is almost completely gone further down the garden. But anyway, it is his fence. And a fir tree that's leaning against the house, which is very dangerous in the heat, high temperature there. If it catches the light, I'll lose my house. It's definitely too close for that. I think it's far enough away for the roof, not going to be a problem or anything, but there we go. So anyway, this is about a 45-foot tree, something like that, and now it's completely naked. It might be the council, is the one opposite, the other side of the road, has also been trimmed. So that's an enormous growth conker tree there. So that's at least 100 foot, I think, something like that. And it's now not as high as that, etc. So it's been copied yet again. So I dare say the council got fed up with leaving the leaves. That's what it is. I mean, the poor little van comes around with its, small engine, tiny little thing, and they try to sweep up the leaves. But I mean, they've got to come back every day for about a week when the leaves start to fall. So that's it. And I had the same problem with the garden here. So anyway, the aerial is back up. That's the good news, and I've had no complaints about the aerial or anything. So that was it. And the tooth, yes, I had a lot of my teeth taken out when I was a teenager, so I never used to look after them then. So I don't have many molars, and I didn't want to lose yet another one. I can afford it, you know. It's just so I've had my Christmas present. It's a crown. So over to you, Adam. G7CRQ, G8MNY.
Yeah, G8MNY, this is G7CRQ. Good morning, all. You're all good audible, good readable signals of me so far. I'll give signal reports next time around, and I think I heard you quite well as well, Andy, as well. So, yeah, good morning to everyone. Happy Christmas! Hey, trying a few different things out this year compared to last year's Christmas net. This year would be the first year of operating with a doublet in a block of flats. Right, I know a lot of you thinking that can't be well balanced, but it seems to be. I've removed all the grounding system off the radio system, and not having any problems. I haven't got much in the way of common mode issues happening here, so everything seems to be okay. It's receiving better as well. Got a slightly better signal to noise ratio as well. But mind you, when I was using the end-fed wire, the noise floor was on its way down anyway. So I don't know what's happening around here. Whether it's the rollout of full fibre or I've just been lucky. Don't know. But nice to hear you all. I won't have too long over at the moment, so I'll pass it round to you, Vince. G1HRD, this is G7CRQ.
This is G1HRD. Well, very good morning to everyone on the net, and season's greetings, of course. I can't hear anybody except Adam. I can just about make out you, Marty, but nobody else. I've got 9 plus 20 dB of complete and utter mush, and the Resolve audio is diabolical. So I'll persevere with it and fiddle around with some filtering and what have you, but it's not good at this point. But at least I've got on and sort of made the effort, so to speak. I've no idea which direction the transmissions are going in, so I heard Martin first, so that's where I'm going to pass the transmission round to. So G4FKK in the group, G1HRD.
Golf 3 Yankee Charlie Romeo.
G3 Yankee Charlie Romeo. Good morning, Colin. Yes, it goes round to Andy now, G8JAC. And Andy, if you could pass it to Colin, and then Colin, if you pass it back to me, and then we'll have gone round once, and we'll listen for breakers as well. So round to you, Andy, G8JAC, G4FKK.
What on earth is he using? He's using some ex-military equipment, I guess. To adjust the treble on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, GHAAC and Christmas group from G3YCI. I didn't hear anybody breaking, anybody coming in. No, not that I heard. Signal's not very strong. Even you're not very strong, Martin, FKK, which is a bit strange here, but then you set it up very rapidly last night. And Andy, good morning to you. Happy Christmas to you as well. You're about readability 5 and strength all 5, about 5 and 5. So I can just about read you. And Martin, I should think you're about S8, something like that. It's a bit strange. You might be almost, you're not end on, you're almost side on to me. That's what. Oh well, there we go. Anyway, just running the TS570 straight into the G5RV with the onboard antenna tuner, and it seems to load up all right. 25 watts, something like that. Yeah, nothing fancy. Just lined up the frequency as well as I could on my old Raycall 1772 and the tuning aid, but haven't got the HRO or anything else on at the moment. Anyway, I'm not going to stay on too long. I've got a lot of things to do. This year, having been in Germany last year for Christmas and about 20 people Christmas Eve, we're down to just my wife Sandy and my younger son who's visiting. There's only 3 of us, so it's strangely quiet for British Christmas here. There we are. Right, round to you, Martin, again. There was another station, so I didn't catch the call sign, but about a 5 and a 5. Anyway, back to you, Martin. G4FKK and the Christmas set, G3YCL.
Yep. Anyone else for the Christmas morning net? This is G4FKK. You listening? No, I wondered if Glenn might be around. I'm just going to tweak the power up a bit so that Vince might be able to hear. I don't want to go much more than that, but well, very good morning to everybody. Thanks for coming up, and a very Merry Christmas. Hopefully a happy and healthy New Year, and I'll run through some reports. So for your benefit, Colin, the list so far is me, and then we got John G8MNY, Adam G7CRQ, Vince G1HRD, Andy G8JAC, and your good self. So that's the list this morning. John, I took some signal reports without the attenuator in. I normally run on top band with the attenuator in. Just to give the receiver a bit more chance with all this noise. So it's very noisy here, but John, you're 5 and 9 plus 10. Adam, you're 5 and 9 plus 60. Vince, if you are copying me, you're 5 and 9 plus 20. You're a big signal here. But you're not hearing me, evidently. Andy, you are 4 by 8. 4 by 8. My noise level is S9 this morning at the moment. So you're just under the noise, but your readability 4. I got all about the hedge dipole and the military wire. The KW204 is sounding good, what I can hear from it. And I like the Plessy up converter idea. That's a good plan. If anyone didn't hear that, Andy's using an ex-Royal Navy receiver, which only goes down to 2 megs. So he's got another Royal Navy box, which shifts everything up by 5 megs. So he's listening to us on 6905 HI. And Colin, your sort of readability 4.5 by 9. Because you're right on the edge of the noise, and my ancient ears are struggling with the odd word, but mainly okay. So I'm glad you got your son round. I was saying earlier, my son's here with his girlfriend.
What's my AGC recover after Martin's finished?
Where they live. So we're going to have a quieter than usual lunch, which is good. But tomorrow we're all off round to my mother's
John's a good
house,
signal with me.
Where most of my huge family will be, so it'll be slightly more riotous tomorrow. Right, not much else to report here. I'm running about, 16 watts, I guess, on peaks. But from an ICOM 7100, I was going to use the Kodar 85, but I can't find the mic connector for it. So to make things easy, I'm using this. The aerial, by the way, is not nearly as high as it used to be. It's only about 20 feet high. The total length is around 180 feet, but not all of it is even as high as 20 foot. So hopefully this coming year I'll get that sorted out again. Right, let's go and let's put it round once more. I'll just put a quick call out, see if there's any more callers into the net, and if there are, I'll stick them at the end of the list. So anyone else for the AM Christmas morning net, G4 Foxtrot Kilo Kilo, listening? Nothing heard there, so round to you again, John. And then it's Adam, Vince, Andy and Colin. G8MNY, G4 Fox Kilo Kilo, over.
Yeah, fine, G8MNY. We're turning up, keep on and get on the scope. I'll say it's, the carrier's about 8 to 10 watts or something like that. It jumps up and down, but the peak I've measured is 32. That'll do, and I've matched the aerial quite nicely. But what's interesting is the different noises on the various aerials I've got here. So I have a delta loop, which I can listen on that's a 40-metre loop of wire, and sometimes that works quite nicely. And I've got a nest of dipoles there, 80, 40, 20 and 10. And so I can listen on those as well as the top band dipole. And what was interesting is some of you are better on the wrong aerial, but definitely. And then I've got a noise cancelling area that I can throw in after that. And then I can play with the receiver bandwidth from
I've not used my noise cancelling area.
Etc.
It's my noise cancelling. That's it switched on now.
With the OIT to listen on one side.
And that's it switched off. I've not needed to use it at the moment.
No one was better on sideband, I might add. You were better on AM, but sometimes with a narrow filter, the sideband filter. So that was interesting. So the reports here, as I say, is the noise floor is S9 plus 10 without any attenuators in. So say 20 over there for Martin, and 5.9 plus 25 for Adam, very strong. 3 and 9 for Vince. I could hear you and read you, but it was a bit difficult. And Andy, yeah, when you first came on, you didn't have the mic preamp powered properly. In other words, it was all terribly distorted. And over the first minute or so, it got better and better. So it might be the transmitter, but it sounded like something was hard clipping on the one end of the power supply and then eventually biasing itself up. So it might be that. So hence my scope here keeps an eye that it's all happening. And it sounded fine at the end. And Colin about a 3 and 9 here. So that's like 10 dB below my noise floor. Colin, well, I was able to read you. That was by tuning off the side and changing aerials and all the rest of it. So lucky to have this dipole up. It has to go over the house. It starts on the southwest corner of a long garden and a neighbour's tree, at about 40 odd feet up there to the north chimney part of the house. I've got a butcher's hook in there, if you like, a bit of steel in the chimney pot with an insulated peak's tail on the end, and it goes through that and then slides across to this tree that's just been trimmed, etc. And there's about 15 foot hanging down from the tree as well. So that's it. Interesting enough, if we went down to 1850, of course, or 1845 or something like that, we could be running 400 watts PEP. No problems at all. But I think 400 watts is the maximum you're allowed on this band currently, because it's not primary. It has to be primary, isn't it? So that's it. Be primary shared, but it can't be. You get the idea. It can't be secondary. So that's the problem with this nonsense on this band. G7CRQ, G8MNY.
Yeah, G8MNY, G7CRQ. Okay, well, I can start giving signal reports now. I can hear all of you. If you're interested, I'm actually recording this. I'll post on YouTube later on if you want to watch how you were received here in Wallington or at my QTH. I can hear all of you. I'm having a few troubles with Andy. It was a bit tight for me. I had to put in a tighter filter and play around with the Twin PBT to start to resolve his audio. My noise floor is slightly higher than normal. Probably down to the Christmas lights up everywhere. It has been hovering around during the day about S8, but it's up to about S9. This is without any attenuation or noise cancelling in. I've not got my null stereo switched on. Haven't needed it. I can hear you all very clearly. Martin, you're obviously 5.9 plus 60 with me, and it's interesting seeing the AGC recover afterwards. Luckily, John's strong enough that it doesn't affect it. I can hear him while it's sort of like recovering. The radio, the front end of the radio's gone. Thank God he's finished talking. John, you're a 5.9 plus 10 with me. Vince, you're also 5.9 plus 10. Actually, John, you're probably 5.9 plus 20. Did so with you, Vince. Andy, I can hear you. You've got a good signal, but it's just me playing around with the receiver settings to resolve what you're saying. So, yeah, if you watch the YouTube video later on, you can see what I did. And Colin, G3YCR, well, you're also a good signal as well. You're 5.9 plus here as well. All hovering around in between the radio 5. So I've got no real issues really receiver-wise here. As I said earlier on, I live in a block of flats. And again, I'm using roughly around a 200-foot doublet fed with 450 ohm twin feed, which goes down to a 4-to-1 Balun and then into a T-Match. I have got 2 balance tuners, but they're awkward to use. And they're not awkward to use, they're easy to use. I've got an SEM Transmatch, but that only works down to 80 metres, and it's unmodified. It's as is, as it came out of the factory, and I don't want to mod it because they're sort of getting hard to find now. So I want to leave that as is. I've got also a GQRP Club Z Match as well, but I'm happy to use a T Match with a 4-to-1 Balun, and that works fine. I'm not happy with that. Radio, I'm obviously on the 7300, and that peaks at 25 watts, and that's what I'm using at the moment. And I'm actually, for once, I'm in agreement with you, John. Above 1850, the 32 watt power limit we have is a bit naff. We haven't got really, the primary users don't really use this band that much anymore. And what harm would it have us so we can operate up to, say, 400 watts across the band? Even though I'd only ever use 100 watts, because I probably wouldn't be compliant anything more than 100 watts, considering half the air all comes indoors. But there we are. Right, I'm wondering what to do for the rest of the day. After this net, it's great having an AM net. It's unusual to have a local AM net, especially down here, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. So it's probably once a year I operate AM. I have started using AM on 60 metres on 5317, and I've had some interesting contacts on that, but apart from the VMARS net on 80 metres, there's not much AM activity on the lower HF bands. So it's nice, at least yearly or once a year, to do this net and see how things are occurring. I'm hoping, because I'm an optimist, that January 2027, they're supposed to be flipping a switch at BT Openreach's telephone exchanges and switching the copper off. I know it's a bit of a contentious thing at the moment. A lot of people don't think it's VDSL and ADSL which is causing the high noise floor. But I remember in the early noughties, before VDSL really kicked off, my noise floor down here was really low. It wasn't really an issue. It's only since we've had VDSL that it's really ramped up. and I'm sure switch mode power supplies and the wall warts were already moving over towards switch mode power supplies then. And he always had other noisy equipment, and for me it was someone's plasma TV which wiped out top band and 80 metres. That's now gone, which makes these bands a bit more usable. So wait to January 2027. We'll find out whether it's the overhead copper in the street which is causing the noise. Maybe things might get back to normal. Who knows? Anyway, let's throw it round to Vince. G1HRD. This is G7CRQ.
Yeah, okay, Adam. Like I said, having great difficulties. Reports as such. Adam, readability 4. Martin, your R3. Andy, JAC, nothing. John, MNY, nothing. And Colin, YCR, nothing. So my apologies. If you can hear me, I can't hear you. So I will make this one a final. I'll duck out because I can only hear Martin and Adam. But yes, it's nice to have the capability of doing a bit of AM. I've tried to encourage at least like a once a month AM net on 4 meters, but that came to nothing. So maybe at some stage it'd be nice to just to keep it alive, but not many people interested. But there we are. Anyway, over to you, Martin. I wish everyone 73, and it's nice to be able to join in, but not so nice when you can't hear anyone. G4FKK, over to you, Martin, and 73 all, G1HRD.
Yeah, okay, Vince, G4FKK, and it's round to you, Andy, G8JAC, G4FKK.
That's better.
GHJAC and the Christmas net from G3YCR just for a final, and morning to you, Glenn, as well. And Martin will bring you in a minute. The signals are very strange this morning. Having had a bit more of a round. Martin, you're actually about 5 and 8 with me. Andy, you came up to about 5 and 7 that time. I don't know whether it's different power on the Klansman, something like that. John GHMNY, you're about 5 and 5. Vince was about 5 and 3. And the curious thing was that Adam, you're 5 and 9 plus 10. You're the biggest signal by far by anybody, even of Martin, and you're virtually in the same direction. I can't work this out at all. Very odd.
And half the air's indoors.
I heard Glenn there, G5CL, and Glenn, you're barely readable here. It's very odd. I can't understand why this is. I thought perhaps the antenna really wasn't working, but I mean on transmit the SWR is okay. So it's all very, very odd. Adam, you're a cracking big signal, and you're the sort of strength I would expect everybody else to be. The only comment I was going to make was, two comments. And one, you reminded me, Andy, that I need to get my KW204 down from the loft. I've spotted it under its cover, where it's been for about 20 years, I think, along with the companion KW202 receiver. I think it's that way now. I've really got to get those down and get them working. There is a KW107 Supermatch I've got here, but it's inserted, well, it's bypass direct because, like the SCM one you mentioned, Adam, the KW107 doesn't work beyond lower than 80 metres, so it's not much point. And the other thing about noise, it's weird. The evenings at the moment here, top band, it is almost unreadable. If the noise had come up, I'd guess it from switch mode power supplies, Christmas lights. You'd have mostly been unreadable, all apart from you, I think, Adam. I doubt the noise is VDSL. If there's a general noise, I mean, it's quite quiet. About F3 noise is quite good. VDSL starts higher up, much higher frequency. There is some VDSL, and I think a lot of people are still using the wireless extenders. Yeah. So I think Virgin still offer them free to people, just as as an ADSL around the house sort of system. And I'm sure people use those. So they'll continue for a while as long as they use them, I guess. Look forward to the ending of any sort of telephone copper-borne stuff. Or there shouldn't be any around here anyway now, because everything's been converted to fibre to the house. So even my next door neighbour's got fibre to the house. We haven't got
those lines have still got copper in them.
That's been fibre to the cabinet and
so they actually switch off
under the road and under the house for about 25 years. So there we are. Okay, I'm going to sign out. Merry Christmas to you. Really nice to come up on top band. Really enjoyed it this morning. It's a real difference, and we'll try and make something a bit more permanent, I think. So 73 still, you're good to work here, and I'll pass it back to you, Martin, and then you can bring Glenn in. G5KK with the Christmas net, G3YCR in Coulson signing, and Merry Christmas again.
Yeah, fine, Colin. Just take another quick break. Anyone else for the net before it ends? G4 Fox King listening? No, nothing heard. You mentioned Glenn, Colin, but I've not heard Glenn yet. I don't know if you were confusing Glenn with Vince, G1HRD, but he's a good signal here. Anyway, so Glenn, if you are listening, I've missed you. Apologies for that. I'll put another call out in a minute. I'll just quickly run through the notes. Thanks for all the reports, everyone. It just shows that Adam's doublet's working very well. But the noise, I don't think the VDSL is going to make a huge difference here, Adam. When I went over to fibre here, the noise didn't change at all, and in fact it's worse now than it was when I first went over to fibre. So I think it's mainly switch mode power supplies, because as John will tell you, there's millions of them. They're all in phase and they're all putting rubbish out on the mains. To be quite honest, I don't know why we stick to this 32 watt rule, because if Ofcom can't be bothered to clear up the noise, then we need to increase our power to put the signal to noise ratio back where it was. So anyway, it'll be interesting to see, Adam, what does happen in 2027. Only another year to wait, isn't it?
Yeah.
John, okay, yes, I found fiddling about with the filters and shifting things worked quite well. I like your butcher's hook on the chimney, and yeah, well, maybe we should shift the net down to below 1850. At least everyone will be able to hear you then, John, with your big amplifier. I could probably run a couple of 100 watts PEP of AM down there, but I'll think about that during the year. Andy, the Klansman, you're now 5 and 9, not 4 and 9. So it's funny as well. You said the 204 was running up a sideband. I made it lower sideband here, but I could be wrong. I found it worked better if I did what John did. I narrowed the filter and dropped down a kilohertz, and then I could copy you. But the Klansman, I'm copying fine, so that's okay. Adam. Okay, about the Transmatch. Yes, I've got a Transmatch which was modified at the factory for 160, but I think I've mentioned before it turned it basically into a tunable dummy load on top band. They just about work on 80, but even the factory adjusted ones are hopeless on top band. Well, unless you want a tunable dummy load. But I think the way you're doing it is obviously working very well. I had a quick listen on the VMARS 3615 this morning. There's some big signals on there. And I do sometimes hear some AM on 60 metres as well. Well, Vince can't hear me, but next time you speak to Vince, Adam, you can tell him he's 20 over 9 here, so we definitely need to get his noise down. And I've not heard AM on 4 for quite a while either. Right, okay. Well, Vince has signed, Colin has signed, so the list is now John, G8MNY, Adam, G7CRQ, and then Andy, G8JAC. I'm going to make the next one a final. I'll go round once more, and then I'll tie the ribbons on the next one and get stuck into the Christmas fair here. So back round to you, John, G8MNY, and the AM Christmas Morning Net, G4FKK.
Yeah, fine. G8MNY, returning okay. This end, the dipole has got a loudspeaker wire with the balance feeder all the way to the shack, and then 30 or so turns on a ferrite rod, and then into the balance port of the tuner, which is, as you say, is a T-tuner with a 2-to-1 step-up transformer there, so that's how that works. And I'm often using the dipole as the receive aerial against the noise cancelling area on 80 and the other bands. It works remarkably. The longer wire does seem to pick up less noise on the other bands. But on this band, it's the noisiest thing, and the quietest thing is to use a top band dipole on receive against the noise cancelling aerial typically. But I've been playing around with which area was best, etc. On the various receive signals, and certainly. I didn't realise that. I think Vince is running one sideband only. I didn't try for that. But certainly, Vince, no, it was Andy who came up with the strange audio to start with, and then it improved. It got better and better during it over. So that was something moving on frequency or something like that. I don't know. But there we go. So this end, it's the 735, and it does it that method of injecting the carrier again. Unfortunately, it's a nightmare in terms of where you set it, because it depends what power level you set. If you want it to do 100 watts output, it should do 25 watts of carrier. You get the idea. But for 32 watts of SSB, it should be 8 watts of carrier. So that's the match detector. So the detector says, "Oh, I'm doing the 32 watts now. I just turn the carrier up." So the carrier keeps coming up between words and things like that, which I suppose is all right. If it maintains the 32 watts, etc. But the way to do it is to look at the scope for the audio mic gain, put the processing on, otherwise you'll never get it right on AM, and then because you'll just cough louder, and it'll go over 100% modulation by that, and it goes negative. So instead of the carrier coming out the same way up, it inverts the carrier phase. Very strange when you see it. You put a two-tone, you put a tone in there, and you can see it go produce other things, which sounds a terrible distortion. It's even worse than flipping. So that's why you don't want to do it with an AM detector. It's all right in sideband. It will sound absolutely fine. If you listen to the sideband, it sounds correct, but it's not what's going on. Anyway, the aerial nice and high. So it's as high as it's been for a long time now. But it'll just wait for the next storm to something breaks, etc. But at least with no foliage on this tree now, it won't be swaying around. I do gain something out of this, and no leaves. G7CRQ, G8MI, cheerio all.
Yeah, G8MNY, G7CRQ. Okay, I'll make this my my last one as well. What's that mucking about? It's all right, PC's doing something weird. Yes, yeah, fantastic, Andy. Heard you all the time in your last one. You changed your radios over, so you're sort of good signal with me now. Good readable. Hey, and I was doing exactly the same as John. I didn't think about when you came up on your first radio, Andy, dropping down a K to have a listen. I just tightened the filters up and played with the twin PBT, and then brought in some noise reduction, and then backed off on the RF gain as well a little bit on your last over. So yeah, it's always the more you do this, the more you learn, and maybe we should do more AM nets. Be nice. Wishful thinking. Noise floor, go away. There, never mind. Well, I haven't really got much else to do today. I'm gonna, because I know it looks, it's 23 degrees inside the flat, and it's nice and sunny outside, and I'm thinking, yeah, I need to go out. I want to go for a ride on the bike before I finish off the day, before I have dinner, because after dinner I'm going to be like a beached whale on the settee, watching an epic on the telly. I'm not sure which film I'm going to watch. I wonder if that's why they put epics on TV. It won't be Ben-Hur Quo Vadis, so it'll be me. I like Christmas afternoons after I've stuffed my face. I'm going to chill out and watch a Second World War film, and I think this year it's going to be Tobruk. I watched The Great Escape last year. I think it was The Guns of Navarone the previous year. It's one of the Second World War ones I always watch, but I don't think I've ever watched Tobruk before. So it was on I can't remember which TV channel. It was on the Film 4 the other day. I didn't record it. I'm going to stream it online, so that's what I'll be doing. Going out for a ride on the e-bike, getting some fresh air, stuffing my face, and then recovering afterwards to know if I don't fall asleep in front of the telly. Right, with that, I shall bid you all 7 threes. I shall start editing this and then head off out. So happy Christmas, everyone, and we shall catch up, hopefully maybe before the new year or shortly afterwards. 7 threes all, and it's round to Vince has gone, so it'll be JAC. Go ahead, Andy. G7CRQ. It's even better.
The carrier level's just gone 10 knots, and it's
intermittent.
Very much indeed for running the net this morning. Yes, so good bit of fun. Thoroughly enjoyable. And I'll now pass it on to Colin. G3 with us here to take and
Colin signed on the last one, Andy. Strangely, I could hear you better on the 204 this time than the first time. I didn't have to retweak to the other side or anything, so I think you've possibly... It sounded like it may have been over-modding slightly, but I could hear you readability 5, so jolly good. Okay, John, on the various aerials, and yeah, it's the trouble, isn't it? Well, I say it's the trouble. I think 32 watts PEP, as you say, is 8 watts carrier with a 100% modulated AM signal. But I don't think many people know that anymore, John. But I say that's a benefit, really, because I think if... I don't think I'd hear anyone if they were running 8 watts of carrier. They really ought to tweak that. And as I say, since Ofcom can't be bothered to keep all the noise off the bands, then I don't see why we should bother running QRP HI. But that's just my revolutionary thinking there. Yes, I've got an Icon 735 here, John, and it's quite tricky to set up, as you say. But once it's set up, it works really well. So, and it sounds very good. Your AM this morning. What else we got here? Enjoy your film this evening, Adam. This afternoon, rather. 23 in the shack would be too much. It's about sort of a very pleasant 19 here at the moment, so that's okay. So I'm going to wish you all a very Merry Christmas, and if I don't speak to you before, a Happy New Year. Thanks everyone very much indeed for coming up. There was a large period of a few years where I'd come up and call CQ on AM on top band in the morning, but no one would come back. So it's a joy to hear you all on. Thank you, Adam, for organising the publicity in the background, and Andy, whatever his call sign is these days, you know who I mean, for putting it out to the CATS members, so that's good. And if I don't speak to you all before, I'll see you all next Christmas. This seems to be a good frequency. Right, 7-3 all, have a great one, and I'll listen for a bit for any finals, and then I'll go and hit the festive cheer. So G4 Fox King closing the Christmas morning AM net, the AM net, and saying 73 to everyone. Cheerio.
Thanks for running the net there. Thanks for running the net there, Martin. And yes, I'll be using these kilowatt-hour car this afternoon, keeping the shack warmer. It's only 16 degrees in here with the central heating on, etc. But with the linear on, it's nice and warm. What's the difference between a kilowatt and 100 watts? How often have you driven up a motorway at 7 miles an hour? Cheerio.
Very good.
Yeah, 7-3s, and it's G0KZT, Andy, who did it on for CATS. Bye all, G7CRQ.
Yeah, thanks for that reminder. I had to wait for the AGC to recover in case Andy was on. Yeah, well, it's just my senility kicking in again. I know his call sign as well as mine, but he suddenly became G1IRM again, which he hasn't been for 30 years. Right, see you later, chaps. G4FKK are gone.
Brilliant. Turn the volume down. Well, if you got this far, thanks for watching. Happy New Year. That's to come. Bye.